My gratitude to the Ambassador of Sweden to the Holy See for inviting me to attend this important seminar that aims at highlighting the huge phenomenon of trafficking and exploitation of children in many different ways and in many parts of the world, Italy included. I am aware that children nowadays have become a special target for traffickers because they can very easily be enslaved and used mainly for cheap labor, begging, removal of organs, recruited as soldiers, but moreover trafficked for sexual exploitation and sexual tourism. I will therefore share the experience of many years of commitment in this ministry, mainly networking with other women religious dealing in countries of origin, transit, and destination. Nuns are mainly concerned about preventing the exodus of young people towards a promised land. But moreover, we are very much involved in rescuing victims from the streets and nightclubs to reintegrate them into society and in their family. A special thanks goes to Her Majesty Queen Sylvia of Sweden for her presence, and that means her great concern for the life of millions of children who are the present and the future of mankind. Unfortunately, they have been deprived of their youth, their joy, their dreams, their hopes and desire for a world free of slavery and exploitation. Being a missionary and having worked in Africa for 24 years, I am aware of the many problems and difficulties faced by young children deprived of proper education because of poverty, large families, and lack of opportunities for a bright future. They can easily become prey of traffickers searching for victims to meet the demand of an opulent Western society where with money, even a body of a child can be bought and used as a toy to satisfy the greed of power, possession, and pleasure of millions of consumers. Since '93, when I started working in Turin on a Caritas drop-in center for migrant women, I met and started rescuing hundreds of young girls from Nigeria and from Eastern European countries by offering them shelters and opportunities for a different life. Since then, I encountered thousands of such very young girls, each one with a different story of humiliation and exploitation. It is in that big and industrialized city that I came to know the world of the night and of the street, where at that time more than 3,000 young women were living, working, and often dying on the streets. The girls from Albania and Romania were very young and very confused. Therefore, it was difficult to rescue them because they were controlled by their pimps at the site. Nigerians instead were controlled by Nigerian women, tightening them psychologically through voodoo rituals performed before traveling to Italy that played a great mental force and fear on them. Moreover, they had to stand along the roadside like statues of exotic ebony for long hours, almost naked, and in dehumanized condition during the day, but mainly during the night, facing darkness and cold, mistreatment, violence, and even killing. They are sought by thousands of consumers of easy sex and judged and despised by well-off people that look upon them with indifference and sometimes indignant. Julie, 80 years Nigerian girl, told me that in one night she had 13 clients. How can you recuperate a young girl with such an horrible experience? And there were many and many of them. But now we have women rescuing trafficked women and children. That is our actual ministry. In the year 2000, I moved to Rome to organize an office at the main quarters of the Italian Women Religious Conference to coordinate the service and ministry of several congregations that, with courage and vision for a new healing ministry, opened the holy doors of their convents to shelter hundreds of young victims rescued from the street, helping them to heal the traumatic experience of forced prostitution and start a new life. And it was not all that easy. But at present, we have 250 sisters belonging to 80 congregations, working in 110 projects in Italy, often in collaboration with Caritas, other public or private bodies, volunteers, and associations. Several hundreds victims from various different countries are at the moment present in our own shelters. Women religious are playing a critical and important role in the following ministries to trafficking victims, which include outreach units, drop-in center, safe communities or shelters for programs of social reintegration, restoring legal status through acquisition of documents, collaboration with embassy to obtain documents, professional preparation through language, skills, and job training, psychological and spiritual aid to help survivors rediscover their cultural roots and faith, to regain their self-esteem and heal the wounds of their experience. Weekly visit to the Identification and Expulsion Center in Rome, where every Saturday sisters with different congregations coming from different countries, we visit young women waiting deportation because they have no documents. And this is a great healing ministry to be with them. But now, in a very special way, we are dealing at the moment with voluntary repatriation and financial social integration project, which was already mentioned before. The latest initiative is to assist in repatriation of women, mainly women with children who request to return to their home countries and rebuild their lives. Since September 2013, our network of nuns has assisted 13 women with several children born in Italy and many others kept in Nigeria. To be able to operate efficiently for this unique project, a new association, Slaves No More, was established in 2013. That women who want to return home in a dignified manner I offered a flight ticket and a specific budget for a personal and reintegration working project. This is done in connection and cooperation with the local sisters, since our greatest strength and key to success is networking, not in competition, but in communion, with the same vision, the same aim, and the same objectives. I remember Mercy, that has just left Rome to return to Nigeria. She was accommodated for a few days in one of our shelters before leaving. And before she left, she wrote a note to the sister saying, "Sisters, I want to thank you because you did not let me die on the street, but you helped me to return to my own country. This was a great joy for us to see a young person willing to return home and to be ready to start again her own life. This is what we are dealing with, the reintegration project, and I think that this is the key to success for the future, because many of these young people can no longer be reintegrated for many reasons in our own countries, but now being helped locally with their own sisters in their countries, they can start really achieving their, rebuilding their life and their future, and also to resettle with their own families. But now there is a call for action. Join the fight against trafficking in human beings, mainly to prevent trafficking and slavery of children, as well as rescuing them and giving them back their stolen dignity and youth. And this can be achieved only if we can work according to our different positions and specific roles, because we are all called upon the global economic complex to develop a strong economic system to offer women and children opportunities for a better life without being forced to be trafficked from poor countries, mainly to sell their body. The state, with proper legislation to suppress prostitution, punish trafficking in people, and protect, legalize, and reintegrate the victim, mainly children, to give them a real future. The global family, to legally and strongly press for effective measures against demand, to rescue men and safeguard the family values of fidelity, love, and unity. I think that clients, consumers too, are slaves, and they need to be helped to be free. The Church, with its Christian vision of sexuality and man-women relationship, to safeguard and promote the dignity of every woman created in God's image. The schools, by forming and informing to the right values based on mutual respect and dignity. The media, in projecting a complete, balanced, and accurate image of women that restores them to their full human value, presenting them as subjects and not as mere objects to be bought and to be sold. And I conclude, in accordance with the new demands of a world constantly changing and in search of justice, solidarity, dignity, and respect for the rights of every person, especially the weak and the vulnerable, women and children, we are each called to offer our contribution. Only by working together can we find success in our ministry to break the invisible global chain of human trafficking and give new hope to broken and exploited women, men, and children. Together with all members of Christian communities and people of goodwill, we need to respond in a concrete and clear way to the question, who is my neighbor? The answer cannot but be, go and do the same. We are all neighbors. We are all brothers and sisters and not slaves. Thank you for your attention and your concern.